It's time for Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. And a warm welcome to Guy Fuller Field here in Falmouth, Massachusetts, the site of today's matchup between the Brewster Whitecaps and the Falmouth Commodores here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Brewster coming into this game at 6-5-1, a tough loss for the Whitecaps last night up against the Bourne Braves. Gave up a couple of unearned runs that proved to be the difference in a 5-3 defeat. Carter Waddell here alongside Maura Sheridan. Maura, the Whitecaps are looking to turn a new leaf today.
Yeah, absolutely. After you make three big errors that really lead to the loss and then leave 11 on base, which seems to be an issue that we're going to be talking about for a while, and we've been talking about since the beginning of the season. After just a defeat like that, where it's really a team effort, a team loss, everybody had a part in that. The entire defense, including the pitcher, overthrew Chandler Taylor. Taylor had an error. It's just overall first base seems to be a problem, and so as we see in the lineup today, Mickey Gasper at first, just Coach Chev just switching things up. But again, it's just a defeat that really hurts your morale, and it's a good thing they don't have a day off. They're just going to get back out here, and another long road trip for them. But this should be a very interesting one because we'll see how they respond to such a loss like yesterday.
And that's one thing that Whitecaps coach Jamie Shevchik has said about this long, grueling stretch that Brewster is in without an off day. He's saying, well, you know, off days, they kill your momentum. When you win, you want to go out and play again. When you lose, you want to go out and play again. So I think that he's perfectly fine, especially given last night where Brewster committed 3 errors in that 5-3 loss. They left 11 runners on base, which is pretty much on par with how they've been in their past few games. They're taking on the Falmouth Commodores tonight, and Jamie Shevchik is out there with Falmouth manager Jeff Trundy. He's out there to give the lineup card for Brewster, and let's tell you what's on that lineup card. Here is the Brewster Whitecaps lineup. It's sponsored by Chatham Bars Inn. It starts off with Kyle Dautris leading things off and playing third base. Nick Dunn is a designated hitter hitting second. Connor Smith will be at shortstop, hitting third in the Whitecaps order tonight. Mickey Gasper is the first baseman, hitting cleanup. Michael Curry will be doing the catching, batting fifth. Hunter Bishop is back in center field, hitting in the 6th spot. Cesar Trejo is in left field. He will be hitting 7th. Christian Molfetta will be playing second base and batting 8th. And Darius Hill is batting 9th and playing right field. Bit of an interesting lineup here today, Maura, and probably the big thing that jumps out is Michael Curry, typically a DH. He's going to be doing the catching tonight.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting considering we're expecting Tony Losi, his teammate at Georgia, to go tomorrow. So you would assume it would be an all-Georgia battery tomorrow, but I guess Coach Chev just really wants him catching today for J.R. McDermott. So just an interesting move there. And then also A.J. Graffinino not in the lineup. Again, something we haven't seen a lot this year, but he missed the second of the doubleheader against Bourne on Sunday, and then he's not at least starting in this one. So that's something we haven't seen, and we're going to see Connor Smith at short instead.
The last time that Michael Curry was behind the plate to start a game, that was back against YD on June 19th, and that game started off with a lot of running for YD. Scott Pickler made sure to bring out all the wheels on all his players on his base pass. Michael Curry was 0 for 24 throwing out base runners this past spring at Georgia, so that defense behind the plate is going to be something to keep an eye on, and exactly how aggressive Jeff Trundy decides to be with his runners on base. Let's run down the lineup for the home team now. The Falmouth Commodores will be trotting out the following 9. Clayton Daniel is the leadoff hitter. He will be playing second base. Hunter Steinmetz hits second and will play center field. Alec Boehm is the 3-hitter. He will play first base. Marty Bacchina, he of the league leading 4 home runs, is the cleanup hitter, and he is in right field. Logan Davidson will be the shortstop, hitting 5th, followed by Willie Berger, who will be the DH. He's in the 6th hole. Josh Bro is the catcher tonight for Falmouth, hitting 7th. Zeke Dodson is the third baseman, batting 8th. And the left fielder rounding out the Falmouth order is Lee Solomon. Who stands to this lineup to you, Maura?
Well, Marty Bacchina is one. As you mentioned, he has 4 home runs on the year, and he also has 15 RBIs. Both of those lead the CCBL. And then you also got Andrew Boehm, who is batting 3rd. He has the 5th best batting average in the league with .417. So they have some guys that can hit. Also, Logan Davidson, he's going to the Home Run Derby July 1st. So just some guys that can go long.
All right, it's time for the national anthem here in Falmouth. We'll step aside for a moment, and when we come back, it's time for baseball. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network. Welcome back to Whitecaps. We're getting you teed up for Brewster and Falmouth tonight. Let's send it over to the third member of our crew, Aiden Doyle. Aiden?
Well, I know you guys just talked about it, but Michael Curry getting the start behind the dish today for the Whitecaps. I talked to Coach Shevchik before the game, and he said, you know, Curry obviously being primarily an offensive catcher, and in his first start behind the dish for Brewster, the Whitey Red Sox really ran all over him and was a huge factor in Whitey taking what was a 7-1 lead in the game. Obviously, Brewster would come back and tie it, so it didn't really matter. But in order to prevent a repeat of that today, Coach Shevchik has been working extra with Curry, almost entirely on throwing. Yes, still getting his batting practice reps in, but other than that, just working entirely on throwing. And he said it's never going to get any better unless he gets more practice, more experience, more reps. The only way it's going to improve, so you can't just keep hiding it. You got to get him some experience, and that's what he's getting today.
All right, thank you, Aiden. That's a good point. I mean, I know when, Mara, you were talking to Coach Shevchik after the Brewster Whitecaps lost last night, he was talking about how a lot of times the defensive fundamentals aren't stressed enough, with college players. It seems like that's kind of him putting that philosophy into action there.
Absolutely, and you know, I was talking to some of Curry's teammates, Justin Coons and some of the other catchers, and they were just saying it's a mental thing with Curry. They know he can do it. He has the arm. It's just a mental thing, and once he gets that first one, it will be so much easier for him. So hopefully he get the first one if he has a chance, but again, they're just saying it's all in his head.
All right, let's get you set up on the starting pitchers. It'll be J.R. McDermott for Brewster tonight, and taking up his warm-up pitches is the righty out of Yale, Scott Politz, an intriguing prospect, Maura.
Yeah, it's the second Ivy League in a row that they've faced, this guy from Yale, and he is an interesting prospect. He had a little bit of a rough start. He has a 7.94 ERA and only pitched 5.2 innings. Let up 11 hits and 5 runs in his first 2 starts, but interesting to see what he does today.
Was first brought out in a relief appearance to try to get the save against the Wareham Gatemen. Was not able to do it, wound up walking away with a blown save in that team's defeat. And Kyle Daughtris is digging into the righty batter's box, and we are ready to get started. The first pitch is drilled in there for a strike, and we are underway. Our umpiring crew for this ball game, it's Rudy Firmbach behind home plate. Chris Goding is at first base, and Will Bowers is manning third. And the righty Politz deals. It's swung on and fouled away behind the plate, and that makes the count no balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Daughtris. Daughtris coming into this game hitting .223 with a .343 on base percentage. Still looking for his first RBI of the season is the Whitecaps third baseman. The righty kicks and deals. It's swung on and missed, strike 3. Kyle Daughtris is up and down quickly, and Scott Politz starts his day with a strikeout.
Now batting at the University of Maryland, the designated hitter.
Getting you set on the defense for the Falmouth Commodores, it'll be Solomon, Steinmetz, and Bakina left to right in the outfield. In the infield, left to right, it's Dodson, Davidson, Daniel, and Bohm, with Josh Bro doing the catching of the righty out of Yale, Scott Politz. And now it's Nick Dunn's turn, hitting from the left side. The pitch is taken for a strike at the knees. Dunn, as we mentioned earlier, is the designated hitter for Brewster in this game, has spent a lot of time at second base. Here comes the 0-1. Swan and hit on the ground, just foul left side, out of play. So again, ahead in the count, 0-2 is Scott Politz. Politz, a rising junior out of Austin, Texas, graduate of St. Andrews High School in Austin. 0-2 pitch is a high chopper to second base. Fielded over there by Daniel. He throws to first base for the out. So 2 up and 2 down for Brewster to start this game.
Well, if he could get Connor Smith out, this is a big start for him. It's the Whitecaps had 2 runs in yesterday's game in the first inning, and they had 4 against Chatham. So they tend to have good first innings. So this is an important out right here.
And now it's Connor Smith's turn. Smith hitting .231 on the season, .310 on base percentage. He takes the pitch up high. Missed with the fastball there, did Politz. Politz is interesting because he has really 4 pitches that he uses frequently, just like J.R. McDermott, the starter for Brewster tonight. 1-0 pitch is grooved in there for a strike. He's got a fastball that will sit around below 90s, a bit higher than he was throwing typically just even a year ago. Here comes the 1-1. That's in there for a strike at the letters. And the count is 1-2 now on Connor Smith. Politz has a fastball, a slider, a Change, a curve. It's got a cutter as well. That fastball really has some movement to it as the 1-2 pitches up high to make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And like J.R. McDermott, blow it by you if he really wants to, but mainly he's trying to use some movement to get swings and misses, and that's how he gets his out. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball missing down. They checked his swing. Did Smith. They check at first base, and he did go, to the groans of the fans behind home plate. So says first base ump Chris Goding. That runs the count full now on Connor Smith. Getting the sign he likes from Bro. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Just dropped a curveball in there, it looked like, from Scott Politz. So a 1-2-3, top of the first for Brewster. They go down in order. At the end of the half, it's Whitecaps nothing, and Falmouth Commodores coming to bat. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and more. Welcome back to Falmouth here. Whitecaps and Commodores scoreless after a half inning of play. Top of the Falmouth order due up here in the bottom of the first, as one might expect. It's Clayton Daniel and Hunter Steinmetz, followed by Alec Boehm to lead things off for Falmouth. And the righty J.R. McDermott kicks and deals the first pitch, and it's a fastball just missing up to the leadoff hitter Clayton Daniel to begin his at-bat, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes on Daniel. Daniel, a rising senior out of Guntersville, Alabama, goes to Jacksonville State, the 1-0. Is grooved in there for knees. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So far on the season, Clayton Daniel is hitting .388 with 1 homer and 7 runs driven in for the Commodores. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Swung and missed at a fastball up. Looked a little tempting there from J.R. McDermott. McDermott, as I mentioned in the top of the first, he's got 4 pitches that he can work with. A 4-seamer, a slider, a curve, and a change. And he throws all 4 of them. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from the righty. It's hit high in the air onto the right side of the infield, tailing towards shallow right. Underneath it is the second baseman, Molfetta, and he will make the catch right on the lip of the outfield grass. So that is how the first out of this bottom of the first inning goes. The Whitecaps defense for this game, left to right in the outfield, it's Cesar Trejo, Hunter Bishop, who really has become the steady presence in center for Jamie Shevchik, and Darius Hill is in right. Left to right in the infield, it's Daughtris, Smith, Molfetta, and Gasper, with Curry behind the plate catching McDermott. Here is the lefty Hunter Steinmetz, and the pitch. Shows bunt, takes a pitch, just missed off the plate, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes on Hunter. McDermott working from the extreme first base side of the rubber. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's swung on and missed. Looks like we're seeing some life from McDermott's hard stuff early here. Another swing and a miss there, that time from Steinmetz, who comes in hitting .269, an on-base percentage of .345, 1 home run and 4 runs driven in his Cape League season thus far. Here comes the 1-1. Misses high and outside on another fastball. 2-1 now the count. McDermott last started on June 22nd against Wareham. That was at home. Went 4 1/3, 4 hits allowed, Just the one earned run. The pitch is just outside to make the count 3-1. The big number in that game is he walked 4, but he struck out 7. So had the stuff working, but the command perhaps not where he needed it to be. Command's very important for J.R. McDermott. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Swan hit hard on the ground to first base, fielded on a tough hop, and it's off the glove of Gasper over to the second baseman Molfetta, who fields and throws, covering for the outs. A terrific play by J.R. McDermott to stay with that play and cover first base. That took a tricky hop in front of Mickey Gasper. It kicked off the heel of his glove right to Molfetta, and you scored that play 3-4-1, and there are 2 gone.
Well, that's great communication there and just a great move by McDermott to get over there, but also 2 important outs here because, as we mentioned before, Curry not the best at picking people off, and Steinmetz had 6 stolen bases, and Daniel had 3 on the year.
So here is the 3-hitter Alec Bohm, the right-hander. Here comes the pitch, and it's taken away to make the count 1-0. Bohm is having an impressive year. Marty Bikina, as we were mentioning, is lighting up the stat sheet on the power numbers. But Chris Toms, the head statistician of the Cape Cod League this year, as here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's taken low to make the count 2 balls and no strikes. He's working on a runs created stat, and I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how that sabermetric stat works, but Marty Bikina is not first, in which tries to encompass everything that an offensive player does. It's this guy, Alec Bohm, taking him from the right side, waiting on a 2-0 pitch. And it's in there for a strike at Beniz to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Bohm. Bohm is a rising junior out of Omaha, Nebraska, goes to Wichita State, a program that's been seeing a couple of lean years recently. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's swung and fouled back. Shockers went 28-30 this past spring, right around 500 in Missouri Valley play. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. We are just underway, scoreless in the bottom of the first inning here in Falmouth with 2 gone. And Bohm getting back in the box after taking a couple of practice hacks after fouling that pitch off from McDermott. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swan hit hard on the ground to third base, fielded by Dotris, moving to his left. He double clutches for a minute and fires across in time for the out. Looks like he had trouble getting the baseball out of his glove, did Dotris, but as soon as he did, he made a nice throw, and that retires the side. So, just like the Whitecaps in the top of the first, Falmouth goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom half. We're scoreless through 1. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development online at www.curry.edu. Getting ready to begin the bottom of inning number, or the top of inning number 2, and Mickey Gasper starts it off by bunting a pitch foul. Gasper trying to catch the Commodore defense off guard by laying one down, but it skipped over toward the third base side and into foul ground. So the count is 0-1 on Mickey, who is starting at first base today. Switch hitter hitting from the left side against the righty Politz. He takes a pitch that just missed for ball 1, so 1-1 is the count on Gasper. The numbers on Gasper are impressive. 400 average, 489 on base percentage. Leads the team with 8 walks. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike at the knees. Looked like a pretty good frame there from Bro behind the plate to make sure that looked like a strike to home plate umpire Rudy Fernbach. We are scoreless here in the second inning. And the pitch. That one just missed outside. Makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mickey Gasper. Whenever you talk about Gasper's approach to the plate, of course, plate discipline always comes up. One of those guys that finds himself in long at-bats pretty frequently. Here comes the 2-2. Hit hard on the ground to shortstop. Moving to his left and fielding it is Davidson. He comes up with it and throws to first base for the out. So it's 4 up and 4 down for Scott Politz to start off his night. And now here comes the Brewster catcher, Michael Curry. As we mentioned, making his second start of the year at catcher tonight, the rising junior from the University of Georgia. Hitting from the right side. Here comes the pitch. It's up high on an off-speed pitch to start off the at-bat. That's one thing about Scott Politz that makes him kind of tricky to face. He is not afraid to throw a breaking ball in a fastball count. Here comes the 1-0. It misses another off-speed pitch low that time to make it 2-0. With that arsenal that he has, and, well, he goes to Yale. He's got plenty of smarts. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. It's fouled away toward the right side. He can confuse a lot of hitters. And, you know, coming in, this guy's 6'1". He's 205 listed. Just a big, lanky guy. His coach kind of says that it can sometimes be a little weird for hitters to come in and face a guy who, as he put it, is kind of all knees and elbows on the mound. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's grounded foul behind the plate. 2-2 the count on Michael Curry. And Politz really has used all that to his advantage. Had a terrific year of his past season at Yale. 3.23 ERA. The pitch just missed for a ball outside. Runs the count full on Michael Curry. Curry comes into this game hitting .308, a .441 on-base percentage. No homers, has driven in 7. The pitch just got a piece of it, fouled it off. That was a breaking ball low. Looked like Curry almost got down on one knee when he was swinging for that one. Count remains full on Michael Curry. We are scoreless here, top of the second inning. Brewster and Falmouth just underway. Here comes the 3-2. Misses down and in. We have our first base runner of the game, Michael Curry, with his 7th walk of the season. And there's a runner on for Brewster with 1 man out.
Now batting from Arizona State University, number 24, Hunter Bishop.
And now here comes Hunter Bishop, who has moved up to 6th in the lineup card for Jamie Shevchik's squad in this game. Pretty unusual lineup card when you're talking about what we've seen earlier this season, with Curry catching, with Gasper over at first base, with Nick Dunn, the DH. Bishop hitting from the left side, and the pitch is bunted foul behind the plate. Again, looking like he was trying to catch the defense off guard. The third baseman, Dodson, was not really playing in. Of course, came charging in as soon as he showed it. And towing the rubber again is the Yale righty Scott Politz. Politz holds the set with the runner on first base. Here comes the 0-1. Swan hit high in the air. A high pop fly to shallow center field. Coming in is the center fielder Steinmetz. He's underneath it, and he makes the grab. And there's the second out of the top of the second inning. Just a high, lazy pop fly to straightaway center.
Now batting out of the University
And
of
now
North
it's
Carolina, Greensboro,
Cesar
number
Trejo's
30,
turn.
Cesar
The rising junior out of
Trejo.
UNCG. Trejo hitting .273 on the season. 1 home run, 5 runs driven in. Still looking for his first walk of the year on the Cape. Curry is at first base. The pitch shows bunt, takes a pitch in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, Bro, and heading into second base is Curry. That'll be a wild pitch out of the glove of Scott Politz that allows Curry to move up. And the Whitecaps all of a sudden have a runner in scoring position here with 2 gone. Still looking for our first hit of the ball game as Bro comes out to talk to his hurler Politz. Perhaps maybe not quite on the same page with that pitch, just bounced in front of Cesar, who was showing to bunt. Makes the count 1 ball and no strikes on Trejo. Runner on second, 1 out. We're scoreless here, top of the second. Here comes the pitch. It's Swan hit hard on the ground to shortstop. Fielded over there by Davidson. He throws across to first base, and it's in time for the out. That looked like that might have broken a piece of Trejo's bat off. Didn't look like the most solid of contacts there. In any case, you score at 6-3, and that ends the top of the second inning. For the Whitecaps in this frame, no runs, no hits. They do leave one runner on. We're through an inning and a half of play here in Falmouth, still scoreless. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Welcome back to Falmouth, where the Whitecaps and the Commodores are still locked in a 0-0 tie. We're waiting on our first hit of the ball game. The Whitecaps were able to get a base runner on when Curry walked him atop of that second inning, and that is the only base runner of the game, so you're all caught up. It's 4, 5, and 6 for the Falmouth Commodores, starting off with the powerful righty Marty Bikina, who digs in against J.R. McDermott. Here comes the pitch. That is just low below the knees to begin Bikina's at-bat. The numbers speak for themselves for Marty. Hitting .304, a .360 on-base percentage. He has 4 homers and 15 runs driven in. 1-0 pitch is a ground ball through the middle. It's going to get into center field for a base hit. So Marty Bikina takes a wide turnover at first base, but Bishop is able to get it in. And it's a leadoff single for the Commodores as Bikina is aboard. That'll bring up Logan Davidson, who is the shortstop for Falmouth tonight. Davidson hitting .227 on the year, still waiting on his first extra base hit. Does have 2 RBI to his credit. Runner on first base with nobody out. Here comes the pitch. It's taken for on the outside corner to make the count 0 balls and 1 strike. Getting strike 1 is very important for J.R. McDermott. I know I sound like a broken record when he takes the mound, but it's true. Able to get it there to make the count 0-1 on Davidson, who's hitting from the left side. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball hit well out to right center field. Moving to his left is center fielder Bishop. He's going back. He's toward the track. He's toward the wall. And it's over the wall for a home run. It's a 2-run home run for Logan Davidson, who gets his first extra base hit of the year in style. Sends that one out over the wall in right center field. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Commodores.
Well, that proves why he's going to the Home Run Derby on July 1st. The first one he's had in the CCBL, but he's known for going yard on his Clemson team.
Out of Penn State University, number 28.
That was one of those baseballs that just seemed to keep carrying. It looked like Bishop, at least just judging from the way he was running after that baseball, had a play on it, but wound up just watching that one go over the wall. And here's the righty DH, Willie Berger. The pitch is up high. Fastball missed way up from J.R. McDermott to make the count 1 balls and no strikes. So Brewster fails to score first in this game, which is pretty unusual, as the pitch is swung and fouled off, just foul tipped into the mitt, in fact, of Curry, who was able to get his glove down. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Berger. And McDermott is ready, kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike number 2. Good location on that one. Looked like that was in on the inside corner to the righty Berger. Berger on the season hitting .206, .289 on base percentage, no homers, 4 runs driven in. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, just waved at an off-speed pitch for strike number 3. It's the first strikeout of the day for J.R. McDermott. He recovers after giving up the blast to Davidson, and there's 1 gone in the bottom of inning number 2.
Community College, number 32, Josh Bro.
And now it's Josh Bro's turn. It's 2-0 Commodores in the bottom of the second inning here in Falmouth. Righty to righty. Here comes the pitch. Fouls it away to the right side. Things are starting to cool off here in Falmouth. They play games at 6 o'clock here, which means the pregame can sometimes be hot. The sun is out. But by the time we get to this point in the game, just when it gets sort of underway, things are perfect. Just nice and cool. 0-1 pitch on the way from McDermott. It's swung on and a hard ground ball to shortstop, fielded, and it's off the glove of Smith, and everybody's going to be safe. Reaching first base safely there is Josh Bro. Smith was moving to his right. It kicked off the heel of his glove, and that's going to be an E6. And another Whitecaps error from an infielder here in the second.
Well, I feel like we keep talking about this, but they keep doing it. I believe that's 2 errors on the year for Connor Smith. I remember one distinctly in Katuitt where he dropped a pop fly.
That's his 3rd of the season. That error in Katuitt was a pop fly. Zeke Dodson steps in and swings and misses on a fastball up to make the count 0-1 on him. Dodson, the right-handed hitter, digging in with the runner on first and 1 out. Brewster as a team came into this game with a league-leading 20 errors on the year. And they now have 21. Here comes the 0-1. It's in there for a strike up at the letters. So McDermott able to locate with his first couple of pitches. 0-2 now the count on Zeke Dodson. Dodson still looking to get it going. The average is 0.50 for him this year. Runner on first base with a man out. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Another off-speed pitch fooling a Commodore hitter, just like Berger, it seemed. Very similar pitch. Second strikeout of the game for McDermott. 2 gone in the bottom of the second. So that curveball working early here for JR. And now it's time for the Commodore 9-hitter to take his hacks. It's Lee Solomon, who's starting out in left field for this game. Solomon is a right-handed hitter. And here comes the pitch. Misses outside. And that makes the count 1-0. Solomon hailing from Lipscomb University, a university that Falmouth Commodore fans, I'm sure, are very fond of. They had 3 Lipscomb players that did very well for them last year when they were 1 series away from a league title. The pitch is in there for a strike at the knees on another off-speed pitch from McDermott to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So from what I'm seeing, it looks like McDermott's fastball has been a little off, but the off-speed pitches, his command has been excellent to start this game. 1-1 pitch leaves that one down on an off-speed pitch to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Solomon. Solomon, the rising senior out of Columbus Academy in Ohio, hitting .125 with a .300 on-base percentage this year. No home runs, 2 runs driven in. The 2-1. Fastball just missed inside to make the count 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 runs in the bottom of this second inning, the only 2 runs of the game, from a home run out to center field from Logan Davidson, his first of the season, to make it 2-0 Falmouth. McDermott shakes off a sign when he likes and deals. Just missed low for ball 4. So Bro reaches on the air. He's now on second base, and Solomon moves to first with the walk, and all of a sudden, it's first and second with 2 men out, and the leadoff hitter coming up in Clayton Daniel.
Well, that's only the 5th walk of McDermott's time in Brewster. He has 11 strikeouts, so atypical for him.
McDermott stares. Now holds the set. 2 on and 2 out. Daniel, the right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. And it's in there for a strike on the inside corner on a fastball. 0-1 the count on Daniel. Daniel hit a high pop fly his first time up. That was collected by the second baseman Malfetta for the first Falmouth out of the game. McDermott holding the set again. And deals. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that one was Clayton Daniel. McDermott so far has been changing speeds pretty well. Another swing that just kind of looked like he waved at it. We saw that on the strike 3 pitches to Berger and Dodson, where they knew it by the time they committed, but couldn't hold up on the swing. Saw it there again. 0-2 is the count on the righty. 2 on, 2 out the pitch. Missed that one up high. Gets out of the glove for a minute for Curry, but it stays right behind him, and nobody will advance. And the count is 1-2. The Commodores are trying to reach 500 for the first time this season. They dropped their first game and haven't been able to get back to that threshold since. They're 6-7 on the year, which is good for third in the West right now. 1-2 pitch on the way. Foul back to the screen. Just barely got a piece of that one, did Clayton Daniel. And sent it directly behind him over up against where the scouts are sitting, right behind home plate. And it makes the count. 2 strikes still on Daniel. The runner on second is Bro. The runner on first is Solomon. It's 2-0 Falmouth in the bottom of the second. And calling for time is Clayton Daniel. He'll reset. Daniel, a rising senior out of Guntersville, Alabama. Tends to be a pull hitter. Here's the pitch. It's swatted hard to the left field side. It's going to get down for a base hit. Heading home, rounding third base is Josh Bro. The throw will come in, and they got caught in the rundown between second and third is Lee Solomon. The run has come in to score already. Solomon still being chased around. It's Smith who winds up applying the tag to finish the inning. But no matter what, it's an RBI single for Clayton Daniels. So kind of a strange way for this second frame to finish up. But Falmouth does get their third run of this game. It is an unearned run as Bro, who scored via the error, comes around to score, and Lee Solomon is tagged out in a rundown to end the second inning. So for Falmouth in this frame, they put across 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 big error, and they leave 1 runner on base. We're through 2 innings of play. Falmouth, it's 3-0 Commodores. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. It is 3 here in Falmouth. So far this season, roughly 1 out of every 3 runs that the Whitecaps pitchers have given up has been unearned, and it held true in the bottom half of that second inning. 3 runs allowed, 2 of them were earned well by Logan Davidson, who launched a home run to center field, his first homer of the year, but then Josh Bro reached on an error by the shortstop Smith and came around to score in an RBI single from Clayton Daniel. And that is where we stand. 3-0 Commodores here as we prepare to start the top of the third. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Brewster, starting with the Stanford product, Christian Malfetta, and the pitch to the righty. It's in there for a strike, up at the letters from Scott Politz. Politz so far has looked strong on the mound. The righty out of Yale. Just 1 walk surrendered. That's the only base runner he's given up in this game so far. Here comes it well out to right center field. Moving to his left is the center fielder Steinmetz. He's going over. He's off the wall in right center field. Rounding first and heading into second with a standing double is Christian Malfetta. And that's the start and ending after you give up 3 runs as the Stanford product is on second base with nobody out.
Now batting out of West Virginia University, number 31.
And now it's Darius Hill's turn, the Whitecaps 9-hitter out of West Virginia, who's getting the start out in right field for tonight's ball game. Hill has shown some defensive sparkle in his appearances out in right field so far this season. Runner in scoring position here with no one out. The pitch from the righty Politz is outside to the lefty Darius Hill. So Hill starts ahead in the count. 1 ball, no strikes. The third baseman Dodson is guarding a possible bunt there. He's even with the baseline at third base. But the count 1-0. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled away toward the right side. That one just did get foul on the first base side. Malfetta was charging just in case, wound up rounding third by the time The home plate umpire, Rudy Fernbach, it's decided to signal for a foul ball. So 1-0 is the count. Malfetta aboard on second base. So far this season, Hill is hitting 188 with a 250 on-base percentage. The 1-1 pitch is grounded at a high chopper toward the right side. The first baseman's going to come and field it, throwing over to Politz, covering. And did he get there in time? Yes, he did. Winning the foot race, Scott Politz. We've seen a couple of nice plays of pitchers fielding their position so far in this game as he gets the throw from the first baseman, Bohm. Malfetta does move over to third base on the play, so you could say Hill did his job there with the 3-1 put out, one gone. And now it's back to the top of the Brewster order, starting with the third baseman, Kyle Dautris. This is one of those situations, more I know that Jamie Shevchik was talking to you about after the loss in Bourne last night. Here comes the first pitch to the righty. It's hit well out to center field. Moving back is the center fielder Steinmetz. Only a couple of steps. He's underneath it. He makes the catch. Tagging and heading for home is Malfetta. The throw down is cut off, and it's going to be safe at home. A sacrifice fly and a run driven in for Kyle Dautris. He gets his first RBI of the year on the Cape. And the Whitecaps cut into the lead. It's now 3-1 Commodores.
Well, that's exactly what Jamie Shevchik was talking about. You just need to get your bat on the ball and good things happen. And as he mentioned before, with runners in scoring position, they have not been super great, the Whitecaps, but Kyle Dautris showing up there with that hit.
Nick Dunn steps in, first pitch swinging, ground ball to second base. Daniel Fields throws to first in time for the out. So that finishes things in the top of the third for Brewster, but as you said, more, they're able to take advantage and get that run across, make the leadoff double worth it. For Brewster in the third inning, no runs, or one run, excuse me, on the double from Malfetta brought him around to score. Just the one hit for Brewster in that frame, and they leave nobody on base in the third. We're through 2.5. It's 3-1 Commodores. This is Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Visit Stars Restaurants at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world. Welcome back. We're in the bottom of the third now between Brewster and Falmouth. Brewster able to get one run back in the top of this third frame. And it'll be Steinmetz, Bohm, and Bakina, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Falmouth. Steinmetz shows bunt and takes a pitch out of his zone for ball one. That one, I guess, just missed outside in the eyes of Rudy Fernbach behind the plate. Steinmetz hit a ground ball to the right side his first time up. 1-0 pitch is bunted well down the third base line. Charging and fielding it is Dautris. He throws to first base in time for out number 1. Dautris showing some quick hands there, scooped it up with the glove and was able to get the throw over to the first baseman Gasper. So the bunt does not work for the 2-hitter. And now here comes Bohm.
Wichita State University, number 16, Alec Bohm.
Bohm is 0 for 1. He hit a ground ball to third base in a 1-2-3 first inning for J.R. McDermott, who now stares over the webbing of his glove at his catcher Curry to get the sign. Bohm, a right-handed hitter. And here comes the pitch. It's misses low on an off-speed pitch. McDermott is one of those guys who has a little hitch in his windup. Maybe Johnny Cueto-esque on the mound. Almost comes to a complete stop when he's pitching out of the windup. 1-0 pitch is a breaking ball in there for a strike at the knees. And it's really interesting. It's very similar to Cueto because he still has that leg kind of up in the air, almost as if he's posing for a photo. 1-1 now the count on the righty Bohm. And here comes the pitch. It's fouled away toward the right side. that sort of motion, it's unusual here in the States, but if you go to Japan, if you go to Asia, as I know our third member of our crew, Aiden Doyle, has, pretty much every pitcher will throw with at least some sort of little hitch or stopping point in the windup. And for players that move between those leagues, it can be a tough adjustment for a hitter. Here comes the 1-2. In there, called, strike 3 at the knees. Bohm didn't like the call, but he is down looking nonetheless. The third strikeout of the game for McDermott, the first one without a swing. And there's 2 away here in the third. Just drilled that one in at the knees, did McDermott. And now it's Marty Bakina's turn. Bakina out of Michigan State University, digging in from the right side. He singled to begin the second inning, wound up coming around to score on Logan Davidson's 2-run homer. And the pitch to the right-handed hitter is swung on and foul, tipped into the glove of Curry. 0-1 the count. Now, if you're probably thinking, his name is Marty, he's from Michigan State, maybe call him Sparty Marty. He assures you his teammates thought of that the second he got there at Michigan State. Here comes the 0-1. That one just misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. McDermott maybe not a fan of that call from Fernbach behind the dish. Counts even, 1-1. And here comes the pitch from the breaking ball, hit well out to center field. A high drive, moving back is Hunter Bishop. He's looking up, and that ball is out of here. Absolutely crushed by Marty Bakina for his 5th home run of the season out to straightaway center field. No doubt about that one. And it's 4-1 Falmouth here in the third.
Well, Logan Davidson's home run was just barely over the fence. This one, well